Private Panda here, and welcome to How to Cope with Boredom and Loneliness. Oh, there's your Nigel Wimble, hard-hitting TV documentary filmmaker. You're at 23 Mulberry Close to finish filming the final episode of your award-winning series. Look at the guy in the window. How to Cope with Boredom and Loneliness, a guide for the isolated. Oh. This is a perfect game for right now. I've come to talk with Harold Fletcher, a 40-year-old man who has been grounded to his bedroom for 30 years. His mother, Margaret, only allows Harold visitation for 15 minutes a day. You only have enough time to talk for about 30 topics. Carefully choose 3 items of interest from Harold's room to learn how he copes with boredom and loneliness. 1. Every item tells a story, but not every story is relevant to Nigel's show. Confirm your selections, then watch the documentary unfold. Your show will be scored by a focus group at the end. Good luck. Let's do the telescope. Examine
Harold's
telescope.
only view to the larger world is through this telescope. It breaks your heart, hopefully.
Maud from 94 is rather slender.
Potential soundbite. Harold and his co-prisoner, an overstuffed rabbit, have been through hell together, but at least they had each other to ease the loneliness. Then again, I'm reaching for the hankies.
It doesn't look like a rabbit.
This oversized cuddly toy looks like it's grown old with Harold. I bet a story about these two growing up could pull at the heartstrings. Wait, what are those stains?
Kevin's been rather good to me over the years.
Oh, I don't want to know. We're just gonna go for it and select items in there from the left to right. Because I'm gonna do 3 things.
His name's Harold Fletcher, and he spent the last 30 years grounded to his bedroom. In tonight's final part of How to Cope with Boredom and Loneliness, a guide for the isolated, we've saved the worst for last. And by worst, I mean award-winning. Hello, I'm Nigel Wimble.
I can't even remember why I grounded him now.
I was wondering what
For
she
any one
grounded
thing
him.
in particular. More just a bubbling pot of bad behaviour that's needed to put a lid on, so to speak.
You can replace the word lid with Harold's bedroom door to understand Harold's mother's analogy. I was desperate to discover how Harold had been coping with the boredom and loneliness from 30 years of isolation. Harold and his cohabiter, an overstuffed rabbit, have been through hell together, but at least had each other to ease the loneliness.
Yes, Kevin is a dear friend. We've become rather close over these past few years and perhaps more than just friends at this stage.
Oh.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Kevin has needs and I have needs. I'm forever sewing that towel back on.
I
Oh.
saw this kind of thing go on in our prison episode, so I'm not entirely surprised to see it happen in here too. Whether this arrangement is mutual, we will never know. As Kevin has decided to remain quiet during the making of this documentary. With an eye in the sky, you can sometimes forget where your feet are. For Harold, he never forgets where his feet are, but still has sights on the stars.
This old telescope has got me through many an afternoon. Sometimes I'll pretend I'm a World War II sniper and people at the bus stop are advancing Germans.
Oh,
They wouldn't stand a chance if it was a sniper rifle, let me tell you. They could try taking cover, but I'm pretty sure the bullets would penetrate the bus shelter. It would be an absolute bloodbath.
wow. Maybe that's why you got grounded?
I don't know much about art, but I know all the greats had one thing in common: absent or awful mothers. Could Harold be a trapped artist?
I created this piece when I was about 9 years old. I had planned for an entire underwater scene, but only got as far as these fish before Mother burst through the door screaming. I was so startled, I stumbled and fell from the shelf, causing myself a serious back injury. The broken bones eventually healed on their own, but my breathing can be quite wheezy. I'm quite sure I needed medical attention, but Mother said only good boys are allowed to access the ambulance
that's messed
service.
up.
And he's never drawn on the wall since.
My time with Harold has come to an end. I hope one day he will find freedom and live a full life. Until then, he will continue to look for ways to cope with boredom and loneliness. I'm Nigel Wimble. Good night. Join us next week as Nigel investigates Jesus. Did he really have a beard? 9 p.m. Wednesday night on PBTV.
You're investigating Jesus on if he had a beard. Focus group report regular. Wow, hard-hitting stuff. Anyone know where I could order a rabbit like that? Oh, you don't want a rabbit like that. What he did to the rabbit, you shouldn't be doing to a stuffed rabbit. This is my telescope, the exact same way. Amazing show. Hat from Whipple End. No, we don't murder people at bus stops. Stop my child from drawing on the wall by forcing her to smoke an entire carton of crayons. Jesus, Linda. Why? We're gonna try this again. There's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1. There's gotta be another. There's gotta be a total of 9, right? Or 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 11. You can choose the mother. Okay, we'll do. Let's go with the entertainment stuff. Select the paper and the guitar, and we'll see where this goes. And then I'm gonna come back in and do it a couple more times.
Isolation is no joke. It's not just boring, it's lonely too. Nobody understands that more than the subject of tonight's episode of How to Cope with Boredom and Loneliness, a guide for the isolated. Hello, I'm Nigel Wimble. Harold Fletcher has been grounded to his bedroom since 1986. That's over 30 years.
You said it was 30 years last time.
It's a rare glimpse into his life as prisoner and son.
On your feet, Fletcher. You have a visitor.
I hope to learn how Harold has coped with the boredom and loneliness from 30 years of isolation. With an isolated idiot, watching television is an escapism we all take for granted.
Well, Mother treated me to a modern television last year. She says if I'm good this year, she will allow me to keep the plug for an extra 10 minutes. But you haven't been good, have you, Harold? Tell the man about the carrot you stuck up your nose. I told you not to smuggle food in here. Well, Kevin likes a snack when we watch the first 23 minutes of a movie.
That doesn't make any sense.
I spied a screenplay Harold had been working on. A movie producer in the making. He certainly wouldn't look at a place in Hollywood. He decided to read me some lines from his new screenplay called Brad Planet and the Tentacle of Temptation.
She ran her slightly damp tentacle across his cheek as he gazed longingly into her compound eyes. I don't care that you tried to bite my head off during coitus. I love you, Sheila. Run away to planet Vargon with me. I love you too, Brad, but my father... Let me talk to him. He'll understand once I show him how much I love you. Now come here and kiss me. Oh, Brad. Sheila passionately kisses Brad with her 4 mouths. Brad slowly sticks his finger into her gooey. That will do, Harold. You're a bloody space pervert.
Just a space pervert?
Music can take you
Okay, get
to
over where you did
places
stuffed rabbit.
only your ears can see. The guitar is Harold's vessel to unseen worlds, and he is the captain.
If Mother allows it, I will play you a new piece I've been working on, entitled Plastic Race Car Bed.
She didn't allow it. Oh, she did. His fingers.
Here we are, sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I sing this song. Old hot tar,
I feel like I've heard this song before.
are made for asphalt roads. My time with Harold has come to an end. I hope one day he will find freedom and live a full life. Until then, he will continue to look for ways to cope with boredom and loneliness. I'm Nigel Wimble. Good night. Join us next week as Nigel investigates Jesus. Did he really have a beard? 9 p.m. Wednesday night on PBTV.
Focus report regular. He should have been happy. His TV is switched off. He doesn't have to watch this drivel. So I did. Chris from Gob's Cookie Cockle did not. Okay, they did not like that one. One person didn't. The screenplay sounded hot. Where's part 2 coming out? Alan from Wallowdale. Very poignant moment when he pulled out the guitar. John from This Week. Is it just guaranteed to have 2 10s and 1 4 or a 2? Think about it.
I
What's he
couldn't
say?
help but notice a novelty crab clock. Sometimes to combat loneliness, the isolated will attribute personality to inanimate objects, like in that Tom Hanks movie.
Oh, Harold loves that clock. We sometimes use it to time the intervals between Harold being naughty. For every 5 minutes he's good, I don't smack him round the head.
Wow.
An old toy truck, made by Harold's father, perhaps. Maybe I can trigger a painful memory.
Oh, Harold never plays with that, after everything his father did for him.
An
Okay,
empty
so Margaret talks
aquarium.
more about these
Pet
3.
fish, like Harold, are prisoners to their environment. Well, I can draw a great parallel to this.
Harold's father was never there, so I got him a fish.
Okay, maybe I should see what he says about the TV and
A
stuff
modern
too.
TV? I'm surprised his mother allows him to watch television.
He's allowed that on no later than 8 p.m.
This looks like a screenplay. Is Harold writing a movie?
I like to write erotic drama set in science fiction landscapes.
Yep, that's
How
about
long
right.
has Harold been playing guitar? What if I've discovered a virtuoso? It looks well used.
Mother says I sing like a dog, howling in agony.
Ouch. That's not a very supportive mother. Then again, she locked him away for over 30 years for whatever.
Are you sure this is the saddest music you could find? Hello, I'm Nigel Wimble, award-winning winner. Tonight on PBTV, I'm here to meet a man named Harold Fletcher as part of my How to Cope with Boredom and Loneliness series. Harold has been grounded to his room for the past 30 years in an isolation case the likes we've never seen before. His mother Margaret, the warden to Harold's prison, has granted Harold a 15-minute visitation break to speak with us.
You won't mind a quick strip search for contraband, will you?
We hope he can explain to us how he copes with the boredom
Contraband?
and loneliness from 30 years of
She did try and-
isolation.
So he was being bad for having
The
a carrot.
watchful clock is ever ticking. In a way, time has been his only companion.
I've always hated Crab Clock. He's always been there mocking me with his incessant ticking and tocking. Did you know he's ticked roughly 1,060,680,001, 2, 3 times since my incarceration?
That's
I didn't
insane.
bother counting the tocks.
A poorly carved toy truck serves as a reminder of an absent father. But sometimes, life on the road means, Mummy, when's Daddy coming home?
Harold's father has been absent for most of his life, mostly owing to the fact that he's dead. He was involved in a massive collision, resulting in 52 deaths.
Jeez.
Father made me this truck himself. He said he used to work on it while he was on long journeys. The police officer said he was whittling the last piece when his truck collided with the school bus.
Oh. You're not supposed to do that when you're driving.
You can lose hours to the peace and tranquility of a well-maintained aquarium. But like the fish, Harold is swimming in a sea of isolation.
I sometimes look at the fish tankers as if it is my bedroom and I am mother. But then I felt it wasn't fair to keep the fish isolated like me, so I set it free.
What did you do with the fish?
Yes, Mike, what'd you do with
Well,
the
I
fish?
took it to school to release into the nearby brook. But by the time I had got there, it had dried out in my pocket.
So you tortured the poor little fish.
My time with Harold has come to an end. I hope one day he will find freedom and live a full life. Until then, he will continue to look for ways to cope with boredom and loneliness. I'm Nigel Wimble. Good night. Join us next week as Nigel investigates video games. Is it more than just bang bang your mum's a fag? 9 p.m.
Oh.
Wednesday night. PBTV.
That's harsh. It went bad. Very bad. The filmmaker asks the prisoner about a clock while I'm looking at my watch. Okay. Nobody asked you, bored viewer. Great, yet another depressing show on TV. I love him. Sue from Dip Swaddle. He murdered a fish, yet you put this man on television. An angry vegan. There's a poster.
Boris the KGB movie came out in the 80s. Was this the last movie Harold went out to see?
Boris is actually ex-KGB. He fights for us now. It shows people can change, Mother. This is why I don't allow Harold to watch movies anymore. Rotting his mind with Soviet propaganda.
What's he gonna do when you aren't here anymore?
Harold's mother Margaret. How long will she punish him for?
Oh, I wish you'd stop staring at me, Mr. Wimble. Ooh, Harold doesn't need a father.
I wasn't thinking about that, but thank you for the option.
A 42-year-old man still sleeping in a plastic race car bed? How pathetic. And it's just what I'm looking for.
Oh, Harold loves cars and sleeping. It only made sense to combine his passions.
He didn't get to use the car because 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12. Okay. Can you click on Harold?
Harold Fletcher, a curious man in a curious situation.
Is this going to take long? Mother says visitation is only 15 minutes today, even though you're the first visitor I've ever had.
Let's shoot documentary. It should be the last. The last of the items?
Are you sure this is the saddest music you could find? Hello, I'm Nigel Wimble, award-winning winner. Tonight on PBTV, I'm here to meet a man named Harold Fletcher as part of my How to Cope with Boredom and Loneliness series. Harold has been grounded to his room for the past 30 years in an
How come in
isolation case the likes
two
we've
before this,
never
you said he's
seen
been
before.
grounded for
His
over
mother
30 years.
Margaret, the warden to Harold's prison, has granted Harold a 15-minute visitation break to speak with us.
You won't mind a quick strip search for contraband, will ya?
We hope he can explain to us how he copes with the boredom and loneliness from 30 years of isolation. I noticed a poster for an old children's movie. For some, movies are an escape from reality. For Harold, his reality is like a movie.
He's trying to escape.
A depressing TV movie starring actors you haven't seen in 20 years.
I do love getting lost in a good movie. I think Boris the KGB movie was the last time I did get lost in a movie. It was the last time Mother rewarded me for good behaviour. I remember it like yesterday.
Boris KGB movie was a 1986 children's film. It was banned 1 week after release.
I'm a mean, I'm an intellectual, I'm Russian, you see, I'm the homosexual. Good night, comrade, your drink's been laced. I'm gonna tie you up, pollinate your face. I want to torture you, make you scream. After all, I'm Boris the KGB. You better behave, brother, or I'm breaking these. I'm a mad brother, buzzer, I'm KGB. You want to buzz with me, you can't buzz with me. To the K, to the G, to the mother buzzer B. You say you want to leave, but you gotta die. You better say goodbye, here comes some cyanide.
Oh.
Boris, please, you don't have to do this. It was just business, it was all about the honey. I'm not a traitor, I love this country. You've got to release me, you have to see. I'm country first and I'm still KGB. You are no longer KGB, you're just a simple worker bee. Prison number 33, have another broccoli. Would you like a cup of tea? That was just a joke, you see. You'll never see a cup of tea as long as you're alive to drink. But coffee is available if you like a cup of two. Would you like a sugar cube when I finish putting you to be here, brother? Cause I aim to please. I got a knife and a hammer and some antifreeze. Is it hard to speak through your missing teeth? Will you try to fly? What's it take your eye? If you want to leave, then take my key.
So over the top.
I'm Boris the KGB. Oh, behave, brother.
I remember Boris used to say, "Oh, behave, brother." Get it? Behave? It was awfully funny when Mother used to tell me to behave and I'd retort, "Oh, behave, Mother." Do you remember that, Mother? Yes, I do remember, you cheeky little shit. Then Mother would put you over a knee, but you didn't tell the man that, did you? Have you seen the version on YouTube where the movie speeds up every time Boris kills a dissident? It becomes quite dizzying.
Harold's mother has always played prison warden, from womb to room. Margaret, do you worry about the harm this isolation may be causing Harold?
Harold brought this on himself. What about me? I've been isolated too. I haven't had sex since Harold's father died.
That sounds like
No
a
one would ever
personal
want to
problem.
be stepfather to that little bastard. You should be making this documentary about me. I'm the one being punished.
How? You could let him
I'm so
be free.
lonely, Mr. Wimble.
Harold still sleeps in the plastic race car bed he slept in as a child. You can imagine Harold dreaming about driving away from this isolated, childlike reality.
Well, I always had a passion for race cars as a child, but I suppose that passion has since left me, unlike the bed. Though I can't complain, The springs merely provide moderate pain, and my feet dangle no more than 7 to 10 inches from the end of the mattress. Like Mother always says, as long as your head is above water, you can technically sleep anywhere.
She sounds so mean.
My time with Harold has come to an end. I hope one day he will find freedom and live a full life. Until then, he will continue to look for ways to cope with boredom and loneliness. I'm Nigel Wimble. Good night. Join us next week as Nigel investigates sandwiches. Do they really taste better cut diagonally? Let the evidence decide. 9 p.m. Wednesday night on PBTV.
How come? What do you investigate? It's only changed twice. Oh. That's so bad. Focus group report bad. I wish that Mother would behave. Touching stuff. 7 out of 10. Simon from Middlewich.
Sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my God, my little plastic car, take me to the road and
Alert?
sing this song.
Yeah, no.
Not in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads.
I don't want to give her your number, Gary the perv. Penalty over. Okay. I think that's all that's left. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.